Hello, watch lovers. You know what time it is. Welcome to That Watch Guy London. I am Greggieboy, terrible name, Greg, and I am joined by, this evening, Gavin, Spencer, and Janilda.
You do such a good
Hi,
job. You
Greg.
did such a better job
We're
than the
signing him
last
up
bloke.
for next week. He's a lot better than me.
A
That
lot
was
better job.
good. Well
Thank you.
done.
Janilda, you need to put that microphone right in front of you. You're facing the wrong
Right
way,
in
my love.
front of
There we
me.
go. Greg, you're here. You made it.
I made it at last.
I know what we've had. We've had the summer got in the way, the European Championships got in the way, then COVID got in the way, and finally we get our guest host in.
Greggieboy
Special
is
guest.
here.
I know you've had some amazing guests on here, but you've
Absolutely,
really pulled
and
it.
you're
You've
one
really-
of them,
You've
Greg.
really knocked it out the park
We've
this
knocked
week.
it out of the park tonight. Guys, thank you very much. Great to have you with us on a Monday night, 8 p.m. All the team are here. We've got Greg in charge today. We're super excited to have him on. As I would say always, any comments you have, any questions you have for Greg. Greg's going to be revealing part of his watch collection today, amongst other things, which we're going to talk about. A couple of other bits and pieces we're going to be doing is our 5 under 5, so our top 5 BQ watches under 5K today that we've raided the bottom drawers for. Yeah, so if you want to pop your comments in, we're going to say hello to everybody. We can see Jacob Kendall, Greg with a big exclamation mark. Copper says, good evening, team. Ken Lucy, good evening, guys. Frank Muller, my favourite, is back. Good evening, everybody out there. And I saw that Paul is joining us, and he's in a curry house somewhere up north. Good evening, Paul. Hope you're well. Paul Thorpe. Spencer, how's the week been? I know we've got a little bit of news to reveal.
We do.
If we were on someone else's channel, they always do on the YouTube thing, they do the let's wait till the end. We'll bait everybody till they watch the end of the video, but we're not going to do that, are we? Because we're too
Absolutely not.
excited. Greg, do you know what our news is?
I may have had a little sneak
snippet.
preview.
A little
Well,
sneak
Gab,
preview.
what
It's
it's
exciting
been,
news.
I've spent all of literally last 10 days, 2 weeks trying to plan this. We've spoken about having a new show. As you know, we've done the BMW show at Barron's. We also had Grosvenor House, which was phenomenal. And we have said to all our guests we're going to do a show. And we've been looking for a West End or London venue. So we now have MV Augusta at number 60 Sloane Avenue.
I mean, that's a proper address.
We're just round the corner from Harrods.
James, there we go. I think we've got some
There
pictures
we go.
of that.
There's
Amazing.
some pictures.
Look.
So this is the showroom. That's a coffee bar, but we're going to make it into a proper bar. That's the showroom there.
So Sloane Avenue, I mean, that is literally in the middle of all of London's sort of
It's
night
just round the
isn't it?
corner from Harrods. On the corner of the Bibendum restaurant. It's a few minutes from there.
So we're going to tell everybody what date that's going to be?
Yes, I believe it's Saturday the 13th and the 14th of November.
Yeah. So that's Saturday the 13th and 14th of November. I think we're titling this one the Winter Watch Weekend.
Absolutely.
Very nicely put.
Absolutely.
And so for anybody that doesn't know or didn't come to the first BQ Watches show that we put on, Spencer put on back in
That was July,
June.
Was that the end of June or July?
Yeah, July.
It was on my birthday.
Yeah.
It was on your birthday,
July
Greg.
What's that,
Second.
second?
July the 2nd, yeah.
Yeah.
July the 2nd. Greg, you quite enjoyed the show, didn't you?
That's where I got to meet all you wonderful people, wasn't it? So,
It literally was, wasn't
brilliant.
it?
It was a really great event, great turnout, and met a load
What
of
would you
people,
say to people who were sort of, didn't make it last time or with maybe a trip to London this time? What would you say to them?
Well, just come along. I mean, it's the kind of event where you can come on your own and you're just going to meet a load of people. Effectively, I came with one of my friends and we met loads of people. Friendly bunch, lots of great watches, and this location is fantastic. So
It is
you
fantastic.
can make a weekend of it. So yeah, come along. Don't be shy.
Now, Janilda, I know you're going to be working that weekend, but equally,
I
mean,
am.
Harrods.
On the Saturday and Sunday.
Harrods is just
Can I
around
go
the corner.
shopping? Or
I think you take the company credit card. There'll probably be
Good
some
idea.
sort of pre-Christmas sale. You can say you're going to go and check out the ADs
Yeah, of
at
course.
Harrods.
Work-related.
Work-related stuff. Go smash up the card and see how we get on.
100%.
Great idea, Gav.
Before we move
Thank
on
you.
any further, I think it's drum roll time, wrist roll. Let's see what we got. Let's start on with our superstar guest. Greg, what do you got on today?
I have a discontinued GMT Master 2.
In gold with the black face.
Yeah.
116718, I believe.
It is.
Yeah. LN.
That's the one.
That's a beautiful
So yeah,
piece.
discontinued now, hard to find, but beautiful watch. Yeah.
And how long have you had that one?
I've had it. I bought it this year, probably that around March time, and the value of it, as with many other things, has just rocketed
Has it really?
since March. Not that I'm going to sell it anyway, but yeah, it's gone up
That's beautiful.
probably about 8,000, I think,
What, since
since March. Yeah.
Wow.
Unbelievable,
Yeah.
isn't it? I know we keep talking about it. Well, let's get to your What have you got on, Janilda?
I've got something very special today, guys. Root beer, rose gold and steel GMT Master. I mean, it's just so popular. It's a lovely watch, and I've been thinking, it's too big for me, but actually, it's perfect.
Yeah.
126715.
Oh, see, I've sent you home with homework.
There we go.
Spencer is showing up
Greg,
now.
just to put this into context, I said to Spencer, just put out the reference number. Everyone loves the reference numbers. We're the only show that doesn't say the reference numbers. And even if
So
we
now
get
we
them
say them. There we go.
wrong, Spencer's doing the reference
Come on,
numbers.
Gav, what you got then?
Well, I've got the reference number 999. Let's be having you.
Okay, the
Because I've been
Casio.
working. I've got the
G-Shock.
the world famous G-Shock.
Wow.
Smash it. It doesn't matter if it drops. Kevin, doesn't matter if it drops. Kevin, you see? I'm really good with that. It's
Couldn't
perfect.
give you the reference of that, by the way.
No, yeah, piece of. Actually, I actually really like it as a watch. It's really functional. It's got about 19 time zones, and I can't tell you what any button does. Every time I have to reprogram the time zones, like summer and winter, I have to get onto Google and work out what buttons to press in what sequence. It's like yeah. Anyway, there we go. What have you got on, Spencer?
I've got on here the 116619. This is referred to as the Smurf. So that's the blue dial and blue bezel.
No, if I'm not wrong,
Submariner.
you wore that one last week again.
Can't change watches every
You can't
week.
remember what you wore last
I did
week.
wear
He
it.
hasn't
I
got
did
many
wear
You
it
wore
choices,
it last
so-
week.
I've only got a few watches.
well, he's not
I
spoiled
can't
for choice, is
I
he,
can't
Greg?
wear a different watch every week.
No, that's easy.
But I got to tell you, this is a very special piece.
Jacob Kendall says, all gold, very nice, Greg. What perfume pairs nicely with that GMT?
Oh, there's a
Ooh.
question. Well, tonight I'm wearing one called Neo by an Italian brand called Sergioff.
Okay.
Yeah, very nice, and I think it fits quite well with this.
That does. I did give you a little smell when we hooked up and had dinner, didn't I? I said you smelled very, very nice.
Yes, you did, thank you.
Time check 1953 says, come on, Gavin, it's got to be a Rolex. You are right, it does have to be a Rolex, but actually I was doing other work today and I literally didn't have a chance to put anything on or nick one from Spencer's shop. Time check 1953 says, wow, nice watch, Spencer. Someone else, nice watch, Spencer. I mean, it is a nice watch, to be fair. But I think you need to mix it up for next week.
Okay.
Just saying. Might
So
be
I've
a
got to
good
go
idea.
shopping again next week, Greg.
Exactly.
Oh.
Guys, if you do have any questions for the team, do pop them up. We're going to get straight down into it today. We're going to go through. We've been talking about this for quite a while because we met you, obviously, back a few months ago, and we've seen you now at a couple of shows, and we'd heard about your watch collection. By the way, everybody, if you feel like I'm getting lower in the mic, the chair's a bit busted, so I keep getting lower in the chair. You can't see me anymore. I'll try and flip it up in a minute. But Greg, we're going to go through your very diverse collection of watches today.
Sure.
Why don't you pop them out and let's have a little look.
Okie doke.
How did you first sort of get into the whole sort of watch thing? Where did it all begin for you?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I think I actually found YouTube and forums, which is similar to with the fragrance thing, which we'll talk about later, but I kind of just stumbled across it, I think, got watching videos and saw how many watches there were out there, and it's like you go down the rabbit hole, don't you, once you've...
Yeah, it's a bit of an expensive rabbit hole as well.
It is.
I mean, Spencer obviously loves the fact that it's a rabbit hole.
I was saying that, it's paid him back quite nicely. I mean,
To be fair, if you
you
made
put
some...
money in, but they're worth the money.
It's one of the few sort of hobbies that you can have where you can buy something and then a year later you haven't lost your money. It's very rare, isn't it? So from that point of view, it doesn't hurt so much, I think, when you buy
What was the
stuff.
first watch you bought?
The first watch was actually bought for me, and it was on my 40th birthday, which was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was a Tissot. I think it's a PRS16, I think is the model. My parents bought it for me for my 40th.
Okay.
And that was the first introduction at kind of Swiss watches, and it went from there.
Okay.
And that was what started the interest as well.
And you still got it?
Still got it.
Ever wear
Yeah,
it?
Still wear it a fair bit, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, really love it. So.
Because I find from speaking to people, their first watches, generally speaking, are sort of starter, let's say, unless you're very lucky, and they kind of get a bit left behind until maybe you rediscover them a little bit.
I think
down
it's
the line.
because it's got sentimental value, because it was bought for a special birthday, so it's one that I want to keep and still wear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, still
Beautiful.
enjoy it.
Let's have a look. What have you brought along? Because I know you said that you've got about 20 or so watches.
I've got about 20 or so, not all sort of high-end luxury ones. So we'll start off with some Rolexes I've got here. So I'm going to try and be as clever as Spencer and remember this. So this is the Bluesy, the 41 mil.
Okay, I'm going to pop that right here so we can have a little look.
So
And
that's
Ian, before you say anything, I'm definitely not going to drop it. Okay, so that's the Bluesy.
Yeah, so that's the 12166.
Spencer.
I'll help you out there, Greg.
6613 LB.
B.
Correct.
Janilda in the house, everyone.
I'm impressed.
Very
So
good, Janilda.
That's actually my favourite watch.
That's your
It
favourite
is
watch.
beautiful.
I absolutely love it, and I sort of dabbled with the full yellow gold one, but I preferred the two-tone. So
Yeah.
so that's the first one. That's my favourite watch.
Okay, and how long have you had
Okay.
this one?
I bought that on the month of release, which was September of 2020, when they changed to the 41 mil. So
Last year, roughly.
yeah,
Wow.
So I bought it pretty much around the 5th of September, just as it come out.
Okay,
So
let's move that across to there. So that's amazing. And you source these from ADs or no?
no, nothing.
You ever had a good experience with an AD?
I have once.
Okay.
Through a Facebook group, somebody that had a good relationship with an AD put me in contact, and I got this was a couple of years ago. I got a Batman within about 2 months,
Really?
and foolishly sold it for not much more than I paid for it.
Right.
So, but that's the only time.
Okay.
So everything else is I've had to unfortunately.
And you never got another one again?
I haven't really tried to be
Oh,
honest.
fair
I have-
enough.
There's not.
Oh, you live in
anyone
hope
particularly
then.
close to me, any ADs.
Okay.
So I haven't really sort of
Yeah,
developed a
you-
relationship to be able
You
to do
live
it.
you live near the seaside, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're kind of in the middle of nowhere, really, in terms of that sort of thing.
Right.
So
Okay.
not many opportunities to build a relationship. So
Yeah.
yeah, but never mind.
Never mind. Right, let's move on to the next one.
So I replaced the Batman
You've replaced the Batman with,
with
let's put it round here,
That girl.
a Batgirl,
a
Nice one.
Batgirl. Okay.
which I actually prefer.
And you prefer it why?
It's-
Feel free to pop in, guys. What is it you prefer about it?
I usually prefer oyster straps, but on this particular watch and on the Pepsi, I prefer the Jubilee.
What about you, Janilda? What's your
Yeah,
thoughts?
I mean, I think a little bit everyone prefers the Jubilee. I'm not
I've
gonna
worn
lie.
that as well, Greg. I think
Yeah.
it's great. I think it gives it a bit more detail. There's a bit more going on with it with the Jubilee bracelet.
Yeah.
And I have
Yeah.
to say, I massively prefer the oyster.
Do you really?
I look at and maybe it's because, as somebody's pointed out many times, I've got hairy arms. I find that the Jubilee catches my hairs a little bit and pulls me. Why are you laughing, Janilda? Why is that funny? I've got hairy arms. I did
But
have
Gav,
hairy
you trim up
Yeah,
your
it's
arms
just
now,
a
don't
funny
you?
Didn't you give it a
reason to
shave?
No,
prefer.
no,
Yeah.
I gave it a shave. Look, it's not quite growing back yet. I'll look
Gav, it's just a
That's a-
funny reason to prefer a bracelet or not, you know? People usually say, I like the
Janilda.
look of it, I like that.
Do you know
No.
you're very lucky you don't have hairy arms? If you had hairy arms, you'd understand the problem with hairy arms. It pulls your hairs. You're like walking along, all of a sudden it's out.
That is actually a
Imagine someone
problem.
pulling your hair.
I-
Yeah, and having watched it.
I
Anyway.
do
No, but
understand
But
now.
going back, I think that's great, Greg.
Yeah,
It's
a beauty.
absolutely
I've worn
beautiful.
that
And
for a
when
while.
did you get this one?
I've
A couple of years ago.
No, that's quite recent. I think May, around May time. I bought
Right.
that.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah. So that's.
And do you wear
that's-
these watches every day?
That's pretty much my daily wear. at
That's
the
your
moment.
daily wear.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I
Do you know
wear all
the-
of them, but
You recognise the reference on that?
126
Carry on.
710 B
Correct.
L.
Correct. NR.
There you go.
There we
Impressive.
go.
There we go.
Very, very impressive.
Been
I'm
doing
not
your
too
homework.
bad. I'm not.
Craig
too
Fruit says, I have a bluesy, best Rolex there is. Time Check, another great watch. Love the Jubilee, says hit the apex. And Time Check 953 says, I'm more for the oyster. Jacob Kenneth says, oyster for me, Gav. Spencer has one in stock that I want. Might trade my 126610 LN for it.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all right.
Jacob, come and see us. Well, you're coming over anyway, aren't you, soon? I know you're going.
Maybe he'll be here for the... Is he coming
Yeah,
over?
with the-
He'll never
November?
make it over for the. No, he's got a wedding to happen, hasn't he? He's getting married.
All right,
It's
well, he
going
might have
off.
to
Yeah.
pop round Harrods, look for some gifts.
Tim Wright in the house. Hi, Tim. Hope
Okay,
you're doing
hi,
well.
Tim.
Hi.
Tim.
Tim made it back from Korea in one piece.
Where is he?
Where is he now?
He's back in. Is it Brooklyn?
Oh,
Does that
yeah,
ring a bell?
yeah,
Brooklyn
yeah.
999. Yeah, I think it is. Smudger says, when is Tim Wright coming back on the channel? Well, actually, we can have him back at any point.
We'd like him back over for the show.
Yeah.
Tim,
that's
look into flights.
Yeah, open invite for you, Tim. If you can get all your Patreons to sponsor you, get yourself over here and we'll do the rest. We'll take care of you when you get here. Jim Little says, my first Rolex is the Z Blue Milgauss I got from an AD in July. My second Rolex I got from an AD October the 1st. The Batman on Jubilee. Bruce Wayne, not Batgirl. Amazing. I mean, people do have success stories with their ADs. I know
do.
a couple of your friends have, haven't they, that you've met over...
Yeah, that's a good reminder, actually. Shout out to Kelvin O, and Ian Nicholson, who are always in the comments. So,
Yes.
Ian guys. So, Kelvin actually got a Batman the week before the London Watch Show. He was wearing it when you actually interviewed him.
When
at
I
the show.
interviewed
so
him,
he
yeah.
was He's got a good relationship with his AD, and he managed to pick that up. So he's very lucky.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm never going to get
So
lucky
there are
with that.
some success stories.
Spencer, you ever been lucky at an AD?
No. Tell a lie, I did. 2003, before I even touched watches, a good friend of mine put me in touch with Fraser Hart, and I got a Daytona. Back in the day, I think it was
Sorry, you didn't buy one watch and got a Daytona?
£3,800 in about 2003. But at the time, they were selling for 5,000-6,000, was huge money, and I've still got it to this day. A black dial Daytona.
They were available as well back then, weren't they?
They really were.
£3,800.
3,800. Still got it?
Yep.
You still got it?
Yep.
You are a mega star, aren't you?
2003 on a Y, that was.
Wow. GS Info says nothing wrong with hairy arms. It's the one with hairy palms you need to watch out for. No hairy palms here. Jim Little says, at Cobbers, I agree that Bruce Wayne is a great watch, having a hard time getting my other watches wrist time. Ian Nixon, cheers for the shout out, Greg. There we go.
Ian.
Evening, Ian.
Tim Wright, coming for the next BQ show. Tim, we'd love to have you come and join us. If I know one person can make it happen on this planet for yourself, it will be you, Tim. We're having a big weekend in central London again, and you can stream to the world exactly what goes on. What else we got there, Greg?
Right.
I love your cases, by the way. Let's have a shout out about these cases, because you saw them on Ushin's channel, didn't you?
Yeah, so O'Shean's talked about these a few times. The brand is called Mirage.
Yeah.
And these,
hold up to your big camera over there.
I think from memory, they're around 75 quid. But the quality versus the price of these is
really
unheard of. I'll quickly show you. So one of the great things is it's got a flat bottom, so it doesn't rock
it's
around.
really good.
If I hold the lid out,
And when you take these out, I'm not sure if you can see, they've kind of got a lug on here so that they slide in. So especially when you're travelling.
Very, very good.
It's actually good.
They don't clang together. So they're really, really good quality.
Come on, Spence. We're ordering 10, aren't we, for you?
Yeah,
So-
we'll order some of those.
Well worth having a look at.
Right,
So,
let's have a look at your next one. What do you got next?
so the next one we've got.
I've noticed a little theme here. You do like a bit of bimetal, don't you?
Yeah, I do. So this is the
Oh,
Wimbledon
I
Datejust.
love this.
On an oyster this
41 mil,
time.
that's lovely.
That's absolutely stunning. And that's my favourite colour set as well.
It's a beautiful dial.
Really is gorgeous.
Yeah. I wear that one a lot as well.
The 7
Really
days of the
nice.
week, Greg.
Exactly.
You know, you can rotate them all round. Greg's got a nice collection, Rah says. Wow.
Thank you very much.
They're all very popular watches,
Yeah, you really have gone for the whole sort of like, if I'm going to do a box tick of a collection, and is that the way you've thought about it with your collection, or you've picked watches you obviously that you genuinely love?
I don't really sort of look too much as to what's popular. It's just what I like.
what you like.
And I really just love those watches.
Good
so that's
taste
why I bought
then.
them. So,
You really have got lovely taste. What's next in? What you got next?
so I bought a few different ones to mix
Spencer's
it
sitting
up.
there. Spencer's sitting there in his mind. He's going, what am I going to big Greg for these watches?
So
Just
first
say,
one-
I got to tell you, what I was going to say, why don't we put a little quiz out for the viewers? I was just thinking on Greg's 4 Rolexes, because I was racking my brains to think of a figure. So you've got the gold GMT there on the black dial. You've got the bimetal Wimbledon, the steel Batgirl, and the bimetal sub. Let's ask viewers to guess a market price on the 4 pieces. Yeah?
Well, they're all going to just go on Chrono 24 and
No,
tell you, aren't
but okay, combined.
they? Right, combined, everybody. Pop your answers in. What do we think?
And then we'll ask Greg
We'll
sort
ask
of where
Greg. He
he
must have done
was.
his numbers.
Should be able to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg's done it. Pop your guesses in here.
But Gav, I just think it quite amazing. Like
It's a
4
beautiful
pieces
collection.
here of what this comes to.
Yeah.
Just on 4.
I know. We'll jump him on the way out. Let's have a look at the next one.
This is
So-
interesting.
So this one.
You can
This
hold up to your camera, and then
So
we'll
this is
put it on
really
close up.
interesting. This is a Tudor Prince date, which you'll see resembles a Daytona. Now, the interesting thing about that one,
Yeah, keep talking about it.
so it's a 1999 piece, that one. The actual Prince date, the first iterations were back in 1976, I believe, and it was a self-winding chrono, and that didn't actually happen in the Daytona until 12 years later when they put the Zenith movement in the Daytona. So Tudor were 12 years ahead with self-winding chrono, and it's got a Valjoux movement in it, which is actually a little bit bigger to house than.
It's easy for you to say.
So the head of the watch, I'm not sure
Yeah.
if you can turn it on the
Yeah.
side a bit, Gav, it's actually quite a lot thicker than a Daytona. It wears
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah.
It's actually much better suited for me.
It's actually
than
a stunning watch.
It's a
It is
and,
nice.
and the reason I bought that watch, and we spoke a little bit beforehand, was that O'Sheen, shout out to O'Sheen, Timeless Watch channel, he did a full video on this particular watch. Stunning video, walking around Venice as he does. And I actually thought I was being clever and had bought the exact piece that was in the video because he
Wow.
mentioned where he got it.
Yeah.
But I bought it and then I spoke to the chap I bought it from, and it actually wasn't the exact piece.
Oh.
But still, really happy with it, and it's a beautiful.
That's it's a stunningly beautiful looking watch. We won't give away the price just yet. Well, maybe we'll talk about that after everybody's had their guesses, because let me tell you some of these guesses so far. GS info says 70k all in. We haven't even seen what's to come, but time check 1953, £45,000. Pie
Tell him I'll
Pounder-
buy them all day long. 45.
That's
Yeah,
enough.
45.
Pie Pounder says 75k. Jacob Kendall round about 80,000 US dollars.
Right.
Lawrence Fahy says 73k. Des 1971 60k. Smudger 55 grand. Yeah, well let's see what else we got coming out.
So these ones are a little bit different. I'll go with this one. I don't think this one will get much love, but I really like it. So this is a Breitling Super Ocean in black steel with a yellow face. And it was the yellow face was the reason that I bought it. It's a huge watch, very heavy. It's 46 mil. Really nice rubber strap, but it's a love-hate type of watch.
What
We
is
had
it?
that in stock.
I think we
Janilda,
have.
what is it about Breitling's, Janilda and Spencer, that they... I mean, it's a good brand of watch. They make great watches.
It
Is it just is it just not for Rolex people? Does it not have the class? I don't know.
We have to be honest, Vincent. They're not very popular. They're not
For you guys.
But at the right money. The
Yeah.
thing is, they're not a watch you buy at retail and get a profit on. You buy them at retail and they hold half their money,
Yeah.
60%, thereabouts. But they're not a watch that you buy that you make money on.
But isn't that where the watch world has changed? Because we wouldn't be having this conversation 10 years ago, really, would
No.
we? At all. You'd buy a Rolex, you could get it at a discount. You know, you've told me many times you could go into Rolex, get a 20% offer.
We used to give 25% off gold and 10% off sports.
Yeah, which, if you think about it now, feels like unbelievable, Greg, doesn't it?
Amazing, really, yeah. How it's changed. I mean, think about how things have changed in the last 6 months, really, in terms of the
Sure.
way that Rolexes in particular and the Pateks and APs have gone up. It's just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's not showing any signs of really stopping. There's a bit of cooling in certain watches, isn't there, Spence?
There is a little bit, but there's also things being crazy. Hulks, can't get Hulks at the moment. Hulks, there's a big sort of surge, and not many of the certain sports watches. There isn't the volume.
What are Hulks going for now?
16s, 17s.
Yep.
Same root beers now are up there at sort of that level, like
Yeah.
Janilda's got there. You're looking 17.
And what is it you think that sort of fuels the demand? that
Demand,
people
economics.
Just,
It's just people. If something comes off a little bit, everyone buys it, and then they have a surge again. More people than not want watches, and the market's younger. All the
Yes.
younger people, I mean, if you went back 10, 12 years ago, people for their 40th, 50th would love a Rolex. But now you've got women wearing day dates, and people are engaging earlier. And
They want it for their
they're 18.
exactly.
We get
so-
people being bought, Datejust for their 18th girls.
or their
Or
20,
the 20,
22,
20
yeah.
first. Yeah, it's crazy.
The guesses are still coming in. Kelvin O says 81k for the 4. We'll come back to them. Love the Tudor, says Lawrence Fahy. 68k, says Lee Jasiak. Red Shovel says 67,999. Copper's 80 grand. Chili Badger 88.
Gav, give a shout out to Lee.
Paul Thorpe says £69,235.37. All right, well, let's go. We were talking about the 4.
Tell Paul he's 50 pence out.
He's 50 pence out, Paul. Go on, the 4.
Right, let me quickly work it out.
Go on, work it out.
So,
I'm not
Go on,
sure
why
what
don't
it
you
is.
shout out your numbers?
Shout your
Greg?
numbers. Spencer will add it
Shout-
up.
Go on.
no, sorry, I can work it out. So, but I'll tell you anyway.
Yeah, go on.
I paid 25 for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that doesn't matter because what's it now?
It's worth about 33, 34.
Right, 33.
10 for the
Yeah,
for that.
43.
Yeah.
All right, so you paid 35.
I paid 12.
47.
9, no, 12 and a
40.
half.
For the back
48.
That girl.
that
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
And I paid over the odds for that one. I paid 15.
For which one?
15.
The bluesy.
So you're
blue
at
spec
63. I was going to
Well, hold on a
say
second, we forgot one. Oh, for the 4. Yes.
so about 63. I was going to say as a ballpark 68, 70 grand today of today's money.
So
Yeah.
these were all
Those.
bought around sort of March, April, which was just before they really leapt up. So
So you paid 12 for the Bad Girl.
I paid 12.5.
Yeah, I think
I'd
now
say
they're more.
if we said market price on
Yeah.
all of those, I'd say the Batgirl today, depending on years, in ballpark of 13 and a
Yeah.
half. The sub about 13.9, 14
Yeah.
grand. So that's 27 and a half for the two. I would say the Wimbledon somewhere around 10 and a half.
Yep.
Okay, so what we up to, so that's about 38.
Yep.
And I would say somewhere around 32, 34 on
yeah.
that. Again, I don't know the exact age.
Yep.
So we're close on around 70k.
It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Scary, that.
It is a bit scary, isn't it? Especially since we just went out for dinner and you're sitting in your backpack. Jim Little says, got to buy a watch that you love and want to keep. If I started collecting based on what I can make money on, it would kill the hobby from me. I'd miss out on a lot of great watches. I think
Yeah,
that's a
I-
really
yeah,
poignant point, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Buy what you love and not what you think you're just going to
100%.
stick in a safe and see it go up in value. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's very, very interesting. There's one more to come out, Greg, isn't there?
Yeah.
I really like this one.
So this one is the Tag Heuer
Oh, the Monaco.
Monaco.
Yeah.
And this is the Golf edition, the special edition one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've always loved this watch in all the iterations. The main thing, it wasn't this actual model, but it was Walter White's watch in Breaking Bad.
It was Walter White's
Yes,
watching
yes,
Breaking
yes,
Bad.
yeah.
Now, I absolutely, this is my kind of, I'm just saying for
Yeah.
Christmas, Spence, like if you wanted to be
Oh, so you've changed.
no, I'm not coming down. I'm just saying this for me. I would seriously say that is a really nice watch
Yep.
for someone to give me.
Yep. And it's
You
a
know
big
what?
piece as well, Greg.
Yeah.
It
isn't
is a big piece.
Yeah,
for
it's
my
actually
hairy arms.
deceptive. It's only 39 mil, but because it's square, it wears like a sort of 42, 43.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely lovely.
They do sell. We've had a few in stock, and
Yeah.
they sell quite quickly.
Yeah.
And monetary-wise, do these sort of special editions sort of hold their value? It was a kind of a special edition of golf, wasn't
They're
it?
not great at
No?
holding the value. I think the retail price is about 5.5,
Yeah.
but similar sort of depreciation to Breitling. As soon as you buy
Yeah.
it, you're probably
I'd say
talking.
it's probably worth 3.5, 4 nowadays.
yeah,
yeah.
I guess so. Yeah.
But it
Something
is
like
lovely. That I still love the green one, Janilda, that we had.
I know.
We
That was
sold it,
absolutely.
didn't we?
That's
so
nice.
that did not
So-
hang
That's
around, did
nice.
it?
No.
That was absolutely beautiful. So, Greggy, you've got. I mean, this is only like 6 of 20.
Yeah. To be fair, the other ones aren't as high end as these.
It doesn't
ones,
matter.
So.
They're
But
absolutely stunning.
I've got a lot of Seikos. I love Seikos.
Great
Yeah,
collection.
You said
Yeah.
that, didn't you? Seiko watches. And what is it about Seikos that you sort of,
I don't
floats
know,
your
I think,
boat?
I think they've just got so many different watches. So many different versions, different options for each model.
Yeah.
They're just good watches.
You haven't got a Seiko 5, have you, Greg?
I do.
Do you?
I've got one. It's the SNLK 23, which was a watch that Hodinkee did an article on. They said it's the $75 watch that's worth $1 million. So if anyone Googles that, you'll find it. It's a beautiful,
Really?
beautiful little.
I remember the
38
automatic Seiko 5 back in sort of early 80s. Used to sell for about £40.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Citizen done a similar model in the automatic. I just can't
Sorry,
get
am I
my-
being completely stupid here? But
Go on.
don't you just walk into like the local little
Yeah,
jewelers
but
and buy yourself a Seiko?
well, you used
Oh,
to,
there's
but
some that are,
now,
like, a
but
little
now
bit special.
Seikos, some of these snowflakes, and we've had some pieces. They're £3 for. I can't get my head round. I know Rolex has gone crazy. I can't get my head round. Seiko was such a 50, 100 to £300 brand that of the Grand Seikos, where I just
And now
I just
they're- yeah.
really. That's one I really can't work
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Colm says there's a lovely collection. Nice way to enjoy your savings if you can. Hit the Apex says love the Heuer alone. And Kelvin, now of course he's got a chip in for you. I'll bid you £400 for the modern code, Greg. Jim Little says I wanted a Hulk till I saw it in person. When I did see it in person, completely out of love. That's it. It's horses for courses, isn't it? Because every time I see.
Well, you've got a Hulk as well,
It just
yeah.
looks stunning.
But that
Absolutely,
happens
but-
though. You
yeah.
like watching pictures, and then you try it on,
That's
and
all.
maybe you don't
Yeah.
like it.
It's a distinctive watch, the Hulk, isn't it? I mean, I remember when everyone, well, not everyone, but the majority of people didn't like the Hulk. It wasn't a desirable watch. It was one of the ones that you could pick up relatively easily.
But green was the thing for the last couple of years, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
Exactly.
but then it wasn't. Was I
No.
mean, so many of the black, and then it gained a bit of momentum, and then people are, I really like that. I mean, the Hulk now is mad, and I do think it's better than the new model, the all
Yeah.
green. I do.
Oh, I do. Yeah, definitely. I think if you're going to go green,
Oh, you've
go
been
all
outbid. Ian Nichols says he'll bid you 500 for the Monaco. Wow. 500. Chrono 24 is showing the 126,710 BLR selling for no less than 19K for the US grey market.
Wow.
I mean, it keeps driving itself up by demand, and you do wonder if at some point it's going to stop. But relative value now for, let's say, for example, Daytonas, and we talk about this a little bit. A steel Daytona, which is now completely mental in terms of its price, versus, let's say, a watch we're going to show soon
Later.
coming up. You know, a precious metal Daytona.
But this is why people have said this. You've got steel Daytonas, they're 10.5 list. Now, you're talking 25 to 30,000. Depends on age, condition, new, unused. The whites are going for a bit more. But even the older steel, the 1165-20, is between 20 to 25,000 now.
Yeah, crazy.
Jacob says, speaking to that, Greg, it's interesting that the unpopular watches that get discontinued end up being really desirable.
Yes, very true.
I mean, it's like forming a queue, isn't it? If someone forms a queue, people join the back of the queue because they wonder what the fuss is about.
Human
and then
nature.
Human nature, isn't it? Yeah, it's really kind of interesting. Guys, I grabbed Janilda and Kaylee today for a little unboxing. We wanted to share a couple of really special watches with you. So, James, can we roll the VT?
Hi guys, welcome back.
Hi, what are we supposed to say? It's been a while. Hi, guys.
We haven't seen you in a while, but we actually thought that we've had some two really great watches come in. So first thing we wanted to do is show you guys.
Of course.
So
Let's start with the first one.
this one really is, when it came in, even you were like, this is such
I
a
love
stunning
it.
watch. So obviously,
I love the dial.
yeah, it's the dial for me. I mean, it's the rose gold Daytona with the chocolate dial, which is very popular, and we're very lucky to have one in. It is brand new, 2021, box and papers. I mean, this will be gone.
There's a couple of stickers as well that I can
Yeah.
see here, and on the clasp. So it's as good as you can get,
exactly.
really.
I mean, this will be gone before we know it, because
Very, very soon.
it really is such a popular model, especially with this dial.
And the rose gold, we've said this before.
Yeah.
At the moment, is the favorite one.
Yeah, it is.
And then Kaylee, compared to the stainless steel one,
Yeah.
I think it's a very good value.
Yeah,
I mean, you're buying
100%.
a 18 karat rose gold
Yeah.
watch, and the price is not actually too far from a
No,
stainless steel
exactly.
one, is it?
And also, like, with what people pay for them as well, like, it's just, people, I think, are really happy that they're now being offered these. And a lot more people I spoke to would rather have this one, like the rose gold or the yellow gold, compared to the steel one.
Yeah.
I just think it's the way it's going now, and they are becoming the most popular ones compared to the steel.
Yeah, and it's a Daytona. I mean, you can't go wrong.
Who would
So
complain?
If you get a Daytona and you put the best, I wouldn't say the best, but the most like popular precious metal that at the moment, the most popular dial at the moment, then you've got the perfect watch.
Yeah,
don't you?
100%.
Yeah.
And I would say the chocolate is the most popular at the moment.
Yeah.
It's the one that everyone wants, but it's the
Absolutely.
hardest one to get.
To get.
Okay guys, so moving on to our second one. As you can tell from the box and the papers,
paperwork.
this isn't a brand new watch. This is actually 30 years old. And this is the Rolex GMT Master Pepsi, which is nothing like the new one that you see now. This
Yeah.
is such a collector's
Yeah.
piece. Especially, it's 1991. People love to buy these sort of ones for their birthdays.
Yeah,
you know,
or as a gift to someone.
Yes,
or-
exactly.
yeah, exactly. The condition is just amazing,
Yeah.
considering how old it is, and it's somehow as the same reason why now Pepsis are so popular. It makes you think why.
yeah. And these are just as popular still, aren't they?
Yeah, they
even,
are.
Even though it is 30 years old, people do like the older pieces still.
And I really love the dial, guys.
Yeah.
If you can see it, it's a very, very like vintage look, and I think is a great watch. I mean, we get the question a lot: what would be a great investment?
Yes.
What would be a watch that I could buy under, let's say, 15,000?
Yeah.
And this is a great option for
Yeah.
you
And
with box and paper.
And also, it's such a watch collectors love these sort of pieces, don't they?
So how much is it? This one, Kaylee?
So this is 13,950, which for this with papers and
With
box, I think
paper.
is excellent.
And the original box. So
Yeah.
that's the box for the sports watches. So with Datejust, it's slightly shorter. It's a little bit
Yeah.
different, and there's no yellow gold details. But with this kind of watches,
Yeah.
that's how they used to make that. I think it's a great option. I mean, it really depends if you're the rose gold Daytona guy 2021, or if you're
The older model type person.
guy that you
Yeah.
like the vintage look. It's up to you, but I think they're both great watches, and I think everyone would be surprised that they're both so in demand.
Yeah, and
both of them.
yeah. I mean, if I was born in 1991, I would like it.
I would like one of them. I mean, we're slightly
younger, but
that is amazing. And look, I believe
Yeah.
it's been serviced recently.
yeah,
The condition is just amazing.
for the year.
Look at the
it's-
clasp.
Yeah, I know, it's
Because
amazing.
we get a lot of questions when it comes to 1990 watches. I
Yeah.
do understand that we get a lot of questions.
Yeah.
How's the condition? Is there any scratches? There is not, guys, because
No.
we make sure that the watch looks as good as possible
Yeah.
before we sell it.
So guys, these watches will hopefully be on our website very soon for you to check out. And if you're interested or have any questions, please let us know or give us a call. And we'll see you very soon. Bye.
Bye.
You picked some good watches there, Janilda.
We did.
I'm kind of stuck.
Which one do you like?
I thought the Pepsi, for a 30-year-old watch, Spencer, was off the clock.
Yeah.
The patina on it, look at me.
Yeah,
The patina on it, I
see?
thought was amazing. And in great condition.
Yeah, the aging, the yellowing, that's what you're looking for.
Yeah. And Greg, what did you think about the rose gold?
Oh, that's a stunner. Absolute stunner. I've really come around to rose gold lately.
Yeah. I know Jacob just made a comment that he prefers it on the Oyster Flex. And actually, I know you sold one last week. Also beautiful. But I just thought, actually, the full rose gold, I don't know where I'd wear it, but it is a beautiful piece. And with the chocolate dial.
But pro rata, price-wise, compared to the steel, there isn't the same margin. The steel at 10.5 are selling for 25-30. The full rose are 33 and they're 38, 40,000.
Crazy,
The
isn't it?
premium's nowhere near as much.
Yeah. That's the one perhaps to hold on to. Greggy, the next little section of our show, really, my friend, is all about you. Because
Lovely.
we've only known you a few months and we've got to know you sort of, quite well.
From BMW.
Yeah, and actually, I have to say, I'm absolutely fascinated by you and the business you've set up. I think, Spencer and I, we've talked about it in the past, and Janilda, we've had gifts
I'm a
from
big
Greggy.
fan. Yeah.
But Greggy, tell everybody, what it is you do, what you set up, and how you sort of got into it.
Okay, so my business is called Fragrance Samples UK, and basically what we do is we buy fragrances, predominantly high-end stuff, but every fragrance you can think of, and we buy them in whatever the largest quantity we can buy them in, and then we break them down into various smaller size samples so that people can try them before they fork out what is a hell of a lot of money for a lot of these on full bottles. So the reason I started the business was kind of from a personal need for it. So when I got into the fragrance hobby about 10 years ago, very much like with the watches, I went in deep. And within the first year, I had over 100 bottles of fragrance.
What?
100.
100?
100 within a year. Now, obviously, that's more than anyone can use in a lifetime.
Greg, I'll tell you now, you've got problems.
I have got problems. And the reason why I bought so many was because the high-end stuff, there's nowhere that you can go to try it. So you end up just blind buying it online. And probably 7 out of 10 that you buy you don't like because it's a very personal, subjective
Yeah,
thing.
sure.
So I spent all of this money, and I thought, wouldn't it be great if there was somewhere you could buy a small quantity first and then make an informed decision if you're going to go and buy a larger bottle. So
Yeah.
that's what I did, set up the business. You can come to us, you can do a bit of research elsewhere if you wish, get a list of fragrances that you want to try, and then you come to us and you can buy a small small amount from 1 mil up to 10 mil for as little as less than sort of around £3. You get them delivered to your door. You can test them in the comfort of your own home.
Amazing.
No pressure, no salesperson standing over your shoulder trying to get a sale. And when you decide which ones you like, you make an informed decision. You go to the retailer and you spend your hard-earned cash, and you don't have the risk.
And when did you start this business?
So August 2016 it started.
So that's 5 years
So
ago.
we've been going 5 years.
And
yeah.
tell me, because this blew me away, you started in your home and your garage, didn't you?
Actually in my bedroom.
Your bedroom.
Yes.
You are that person.
We started in the bedroom with probably around about 100 fragrances, the ones that I already owned, and a few more in wardrobes and drawers all around the bedroom. I've got one member of staff in to help, and she sat one side of the bed, I sat the other side, and we did all of the... And then we progressed to downstairs into the lounge, which is a converted garage, and so on and so on. And now we've got...
No, and now what have you got? Because this blew me away.
so we've now got 3 business units that we run out. Operate
3 business units.
How many staff do you have, Greg?
I've got 4 full-time, and then I have 1 or 2 sort of casual part-time ones as well. But we're looking at the moment for more staff because it's continually growing. So,
Wow. I mean, honestly, everybody, hats off to Greg, because
Well
I think that's
done.
truly amazing.
I think
you.
it's a
And
great
also,
idea.
what I love about what you do is you love what you do, don't you?
Absolutely.
It's an absolute passion for
It's
you.
a business that came out of a hobby. Yeah, so the other thing that I didn't mention, the other reason behind it was special occasions.
Yeah.
So, if it's, for example, if you're getting married and you want to have the most amazing fragrance ever, upwards of maybe even £1,000 for a bottle of fragrance, you don't want to use your wedding budget to just buy a fragrance. You can come to us, buy what you need for the day for 20 or 30 quid. You have the amazing experience of wearing this
I
unobtainable
think
fragrance.
that's unreal.
And you get it for a few quid. So
We've popped a link under to your website so people can go and have a little look, and
Thank you.
we'll physically pop it underneath. So guys, do take a look. Now, Greg, I cannot compete with you on a watch collection because I simply can't. But when it comes to fragrances, I might have half a chance. So I'm going to bring out. I want you to judge my collection.
fantastic.
Okay? We're going to start off with one of my little favourites. Okay, my favourite is a Joe Malone Oud and Bergamo. Okay, let's have a little look at that. It's an Oud. Have a little smell. I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
I know it very well.
You know it very well.
Yeah.
What do we think about that?
It's beautiful.
Let Spence have a little sniff. He's not used to expensive aftershaves.
It's one of the higher end.
Oh, is it high end? I'm very high end, Greg.
They're the ones in the black bottles are their luxury range.
Right.
Or their
Okay.
more luxury range, but that's a really great fragrance.
Now, here's one I also love. Okay. This one is Penhaligon's. Oh, I'll just put it under there. Helfetti. Sorry to get off the watches, everybody, for a second, but perfumes, Greg and I are there. Helfetti, what do we think about that?
It's a beautiful fragrance, and it's one that I don't know why, but suddenly this has just taken off in popularity.
Yeah.
I don't know whether
Because
this happens.
Gav's got
Right,
it.
leading the way,
Well-
Greg. Leading the way.
Funnily enough, we occasionally get a fragrance that will surge, like it will go up 500% sales, and it always tracks back to somebody famous having been interviewed on the radio or been on Instagram and just said that they wear that fragrance, and then suddenly
look at that.
everyone...
To be honest, I did buy in the past a lot of perfumes just because someone on Instagram
Yeah.
posted it, or someone someone famous.
Hit the Apex says, honestly, scents and watches, what else can dudes use as details? Kenny W, out comes the brute. Chops, Old Spice. Time check, Old Spice.
Never heard
Greg is
of
not
it.
working. He's doing the fandango of fragrances. What a good man. Here is my everyday wear. You have an everyday watch. Here is my everyday wear, everyone. This is
Nice.
Hermes de Terre.
I remember. That's been about for years.
It's been around for a
Even
few
I've
years.
had that.
Even you. I've got one here, Spencer. You're definitely having.
So
What do we think about that one, Greg?
this fragrance,
Yeah.
I don't exaggerate when I say that I have smelt over 100,000 fragrances,
Yeah.
and that would be in my top 20 ever.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it?
So terre d'Hermès, that means terre means earth in French, just to bore you.
Yeah.
It's supposed to smell like orange that's
Yeah.
kind of
burnt.
been rolled in
Yeah,
earth.
earth.
It's like a dirty orange.
Right.
But it's classy. It's very opulent.
Yeah.
Is the word I
And
would
do you know what the
use.
funny thing is about that?
It's a
that
beautiful
scent?
fragrance.
I walk past people and I say to people, "Oh my god, that's really nice. What is that?" And they go, "It's de terre." And I'm like, "No, but I wear that every day. It smells different on other
Yeah,
people."
it does, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I keep circling back to it, going, "That's really beautiful."
Yeah.
Okay.
that
That's a,
happened.
that's a great 3 that you've got.
I'm a
there,
great
isn't it?
3. Okay.
It's very
My next
orangey.
one is Dior Homme.
Gav,
I need to-
your tastes
Dior
unreal.
Homme. I'm not saying I bought all of these myself, but
How long have you had this one?
a long time. And I do not keep them in the sunlight. I keep them nicely. Why, have I done something wrong there?
No, because this one has been reformulated a couple of times.
Meaning?
And they've tweaked things due
Right.
to regulations that have.
Right.
Sometimes
Are
due to
you telling me I've got a collectible?
the older ones are far better, and they do have
Any
a premium
bids for
price.
my Dior Homme, please pop them in the comments. If I get more than Greg's Monaco, I'll be
we'll
so
start
happy.
selling aftershaves and perfumes
That's
and
an-
Bolton papers.
But that's heavily dominant in iris. That's the main note in that
Right.
fragrance. It's got leather in it as well. But
Can't tell you what this is. This is Marc Jacobs.
yeah, that's a
Marc
fig. That's a
Jacobs.
fig-based fragrance.
That's a fig-based fragrance.
Marc Jacobs, man. Gav, you've got amazing taste.
Yeah, it gets better.
That is a beautiful fragrance.
I've
as
got
well.
a present for Spencer at the end, don't worry. This is my other current go-to, okay?
God, I'm miles behind.
It's got my initials on it. This is Louis Vuitton. I can't even say it. Lemon Sight. What do we think about that one?
I've got this.
Have you got that?
I went on holiday with
we're
the family,
twins.
and I took this was the fragrance I took on holiday with me
Did
this
you?
year. Wore it every day. Absolutely love
That's
it.
a stunner, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
I'm having it off here.
Oh, you just
Seriously.
Gavin,
They're-
Gav, you've got
not
some
yours.
good
They're-
taste.
Janilda, they're all mine. They keep
Greggy, I'm
No.
going to
they're all
order
mine.
your top 20 and blow them out the water tomorrow.
Now, here is another classic for me, and you can see how much it's used. I've had this for
Aqua di
about...
I
Parma.
love Aqua de Parma.
I've had this for
fantastic.
years, and it literally, I look after my perfumes, obviously. But what do you think about Aqua di Parma? Another winner.
I love them. Very
Strong though, aren't
very
they?
Italian. They're all citrusy, fresh
Orangey,
fragrances,
orange, and yeah.
but
This
they're
is
all
nice,
they've got
Gav.
that Italian class to them. But that's a brilliant fragrance. That's probably the best of them.
Now, Spencer. I'll always leave the best to last, won't I, Spencer?
Go on, Old Spice or
Spencer,
something.
growing up, come on, what would be your choice of perfume? Growing up. I bought you a present today.
It's going to be like YSL or something.
No,
Go
well,
on.
well, you might be close, actually. When you grew up, what smells do you remember when you were back in your early days, in your 20s?
I know what this is going to be.
Come on.
Gav, my memory's terrible.
I found this,
Go on.
and I couldn't resist it, because I bet you wore I bet you still wear this. I bought you a bottle of Kouros.
Kouros. Oh my God, that was what, yeah.
And by the way, that's
I said to you
that's not
YSL.
mine, because it's still in the wrapper.
I said to you YSL.
Yeah.
That's a white bottle, is it
I
not?
have no idea. I can't
Greggy?
remember.
It's a white
Spencer,
It's a
bottle.
white bottle.
It's a, what?
It's
It's
a
for
white
you. It's a
bottle.
present. You can open it up and spray it all over
Thank you
yourself.
so
Michelle will
much.
love you forever.
This fragrance is.
Tim Wright says Gavin has been cheating. Someone's helping him buy the good
I
stuff.
think
No,
so.
seriously.
Gav,
That is
I-
all mine.
This has got. This is.
Come on, viewers, can you put a value here on Gavin's perfume collection?
Yeah, my perfume collection. Did not expect cologne talk, but interesting stuff. Oh, we do everything here. We'll have something else fun next week.
Great.
I
choice.
know
What
that
about that?
bottle.
I mean, that
I
is-
know the bottle.
So
Come on, that's a piece of rubbish.
I'll
isn't
tell you what people say this smells like.
it? Yeah.
And it's going to sound bizarre to think that it smells good, but it smells like in a men's toilet, the urinal has a little thing called a urinal cake, which
Yeah.
is floral.
Yeah.
This smells like that,
Spray it all over him.
with a hint of, believe it or not,
Gav, you
urine.
can keep that
With a
one.
hint of urine.
Yeah.
Spray it all over Spencer. Open it
That's,
up. Let him have a
a
smell. It reminds him of his childhood.
Beautiful description.
Yeah.
every-
so beautifully put.
If we have more time, I'll tell you some of the ingredients that goes into some of these. It'll blow your mind what's actually in them.
Chili Badger says, I've only got bloody Kouros. There you go.
Kouros is great.
I thought I'd
I
literally
know that
found a little
bottle,
gem.
so-
Is it the white bottle?
Yeah, the white bottle.
Yes.
yeah.
I'm not being funny.
That'll bring back some memories.
That bring back some. Have a little spray, Spence. See if you can. Go on. Don't be shy. It's yours. We spray it on your forearm.
So I've sprayed it all
Oh,
up
I
my
see.
arm.
That's very sensible.
Yeah,
Does it take you back in time?
does smell. It does
It's got
smell.
that hint of you know what I mean.
Got a hint of
got
weed.
that
After
little
Greg's
hint
description, I don't wanna.
I want to spray
Was
it on your
waiting for
skin.
Gavin to bring out the bottle of Sex Panther. Now we've got some of your top sprays here, Greg, as well.
Yeah.
Don't worry, everybody. This isn't a perfume review show. We will get back to watches in a second. We wanted to give Greg his little moment. This I know is absolutely beautiful
Oh.
because I know some young ladies who are very much into this. Let's talk about that one, Greg. So we're
Yeah.
talking top sellers
I
now, aren't
love
we?
Yeah,
that.
so this is the best-selling. So this is a unisex fragrance, Baccarat Rouge by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. Predominantly women do buy this,
Yeah.
but it's very sweet. It smells almost like candy floss. It's a very sweet, appealing fragrance, but it's actually our best-selling perfume.
It's quite expensive,
Currently.
Greg. but
Yeah,
it's not.
this
How
bottle here.
expensive is that?
So this is the best way to buy it because this is the 200ml. That's 425.
£425.
The 70ml bottle is 215.
Yeah.
So you are better to buy the big one, but either way, it's a lot of money.
It is amazing though.
Let's move on to every man's favourite except for mine.
Creed.
Creed.
So
Aventus.
still the best-selling men's fragrance that we do. This is my own personal bottle from 2012. A bit
Is that the best one from Creed? That
Well,
Is that
it's
Aventus?
down to your nose.
no, Green. I remember.
it's the best seller, but I wouldn't personally. Green Irish Tweed,
That's the one.
which
That's the one.
previous to this coming out was the best seller for 25 years. Green Irish Tweed's a bit more sort of classy, I'd say. But this is I think something like 8 out of 10 bottles of Creed that are sold are Aventus. Yeah, despite them having 25.
Now, this is a very girly looking bottle. I know you tell me it's unisex, Greg. Go on, talk me through that one.
So this is an Italian brand called Serjoff. It's with an X, but it's Serjoff. And this is called Neo. And this is the fragrance that when I wear, probably gets the most reactions from people.
And that's the one I smelt on you today.
Yeah, you actually get people.
Not
People
saying
don't
that's
often
the thing.
approach
I've
you.
never heard of that.
Yeah, they've got a really big range. They're all unisex, but
That's
really
interesting.
appealing fragrance that people
Is that
tend
quite
to.
common now? Unisex perfumes.
The high end stuff is
They're all
almost niche,
they're
almost
all
all.
unisex.
So are they
unisex.
referred to as aftershaves or perfumes? Or
So aftershave is actually a concentration. So you have aftershave, which is a very little perfume, a lot of alcohol. Then you have an eau de cologne. Then you have an eau de toilette. Then you have an eau de parfum, and then you have a perfume, pure perfume. The generic term in this country is aftershave for men, and in the US they call it cologne.
Old Spice, isn't it?
But really, I always refer to them as just fragrances because
Fantastic 1872, Greg just pops in and says, Spencer looks like an Old Spice man.
Thank you for that.
it's actually
Thanks.
quite like Old Spice.
Do you like
It's-
it? I mean,
and Brut.
Is it still around? Is Old Spice
Yeah,
still
Brut.
around?
Henry Cooper.
Yeah. Old Spice still in boot. You can still buy it in
You
boots.
still can buy it in
yeah.
boots.
Yeah.
Do you know what my favourite was back in the day? If I went back to like 1987 and when I had hair, was
How do you
Dracar
know?
Noir.
I love that.
Is it
Yeah,
still around?
Still around, yeah.
Dracar
Really
Noir.
cheap.
Who makes it? I bet it's cheap. It would have been
It's
cheap if I
called-
bought it.
The manufacturer is. I can't remember the name now.
James will do some research inside. How many sprays should you put on, Lawrence Farr, he says?
It varies depending on the fragrance because some fragrances are nuclear and some I say go big. So
Go
I'll
big
go
or go
I'll
high.
go 15, 20.
Really?
Yeah.
Tushies? Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Most people would go two there, but I think if you're going to do it, go for
Are you
it.
serious?
Yeah.
15, 20?
I
my
got,
God.
I got,
Well, he's selling the gear. He wants people to use it up.
I
thought
got
of
3, 4.
You go 3, 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
One,
think
two,
maybe that I
three,
must
four.
only go 3, 4 because look,
Well,
I've,
that's
I've got those bottles for years. Don't I think-
1977.
Yeah.
I'm wearing Bal the Freak at the moment.
That's beautiful.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Guys,
you showed me you had
we
a
got
bottle of
one
that,
more.
didn't
This
I
is a really
love that.
interesting one, okay? Because if anybody can see this, I'm going to... Is it right to shake?
you? Yeah, of course.
Oh, I'm going to shake it. I'm going to shake it. I'm going to put it there. This one is called Roja. Roja perfume. And as you can see, it's got gold bits in it. Talk us through that one, Greg.
So the brand is actually Roger Parfums.
Okay.
The guy that owns the brand's a guy called Roger Dove, absolutely lovely guy. This is his own fragrance that, although he's a perfumer, he only
you
ever
like.
wears this fragrance and he created it for himself.
Right.
But he made it commercially available a few years ago. It's very limited supply. There's gold in there, as you can see, but that isn't really the value of this is in the perfume, not the gold.
Right.
But the reason I bought it was I wanted to guess how much it was worth.
Right, okay.
At retail.
Okay, so
So it's
let's...
a 100ml bottle.
It's a 100ml bottle. Janilda, what's your best guess on this 100ml bottles of Roger?
I know it's very expensive,
Okay.
but I'm guessing 500.
Okay, so 500 from Janilda. Spencer,
350.
350. I'm going to go all out, and I'm going to go, because I think if he's saved this to last, it's got to be something ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm going to go £1,500.
So you're the closest.
Oh,
Oh.
woohoo!
£2,500.
What? That's
No, it's
£2,500.
not.
I'll tell you what, I've got to watch you.
£2,500.
I'll trade you.
I need a smell of it.
I
I'll
need to
trade you for a
smell it.
Hublot.
If you want to break that down,
I'll
that's
trade you
probably
for a
about,
Hublot.
It's probably about £5 per spray. So if you're going for a night out, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 20 quid gone.
I was going to have 14, so unless you give me 100 quid, I'm going to stop. I won't stop spraying.
But are they the same? All of them like same price? Or is
That's
that
the
because
most
it's-
expensive
oh,
from the brand. They range from around 200.
Okay.
And I was just thinking something that's just been put up by Rara, which he says Goldschlager. which is the drink with the gold bits in.
Yes,
Goldschlager.
yeah.
It's exactly the same thing, isn't it? Yeah.
That was the cinnamon liqueur.
Is this
Yeah.
popular, Greg? This.
Not a £2,500. It can't be.
Not really. It's a very niche fragrance. It's the one that only people that really know what they.
So how much is this for 1 mil?
So, I sell it for around £20 for 1 mil, which is actually less than retail.
I've got to tell you
But I
though,
didn't pay
I'm going to be
retail.
really honest with you. Sorry, Roger. It makes me feel sick. The smell literally, physically makes me feel sick.
It is a very strong, but
It smells like your grandma.
Yeah, that's not one of my favourites.
No.
I do like it.
Wow. All right, guys, enough of the perfumes. Fascinating chat with Greg all about perfumes, but I feel at some point we've got to get back to watches. I'm going to go to the questions now. I'm going to go with some of the ones I gave James just as I popped in here. Kevin Wood, good evening, Kevin, asks, hi, I had a great chat with Kevin actually about midnight the other night. He popped up and we had a little chat. Kevin, hope it's a great show tonight, fun for all. Can I ask, which Rolex do you think still has the most potential to climb over the next 3 years? Not long term, either the Pepsi Gmt 2020 model or the SD43 2021. Greggy, what do you think?
What was the first one?
First model was the Pepsi GMT 2020.
I think that's going to stay kind of consistent. I don't think it will come down. The SD43 is hard to say because it's not massively popular.
Yeah.
Because it's a big watch and it's a sea dweller with a Cyclops, which a lot of people don't like. But it will be discontinued at some point, and then I think that the price will go up. But I don't see that one surging unless it gets discontinued.
Yeah, Spencer?
I'd agree with Greggy on that. Again, with these things at times, it's amazing. They're not popular. They don't sell. They get discontinued. Then suddenly the demand's there. We see it all the time. Everyone reads this the whole time.
One of our favourites, Jacob Kendall, asks, question for next Monday, because he popped it in way before the questions went up. Should you trade up a watch you really want to, or keep 2 watches you enjoy? Thinking of trading my 41 sub and a Batman on Oyster when I get offered at AD for a precious metal piece, possibly Yacht-Master Rose on Oyster Flex. Do you want me to repeat the question, Spence?
I'd
No, I've
keep
got the
one
question.
of them.
Go on, Hilda. You
Go on,
start.
Janilda.
I'd keep one of them probably, because he wants to sell them both, right?
I guess it's like the trade up, sell them both to
I'd
trade
keep
into
one
more
of
expensive.
them and then get the Yacht-Master.
But that's
on
assuming
Oyster.
you've got the cash to pay for the rest.
Well, Jacob, get the cash.
If not, sell part of your perfume collection and use that towards your watches.
Well, it's not me, it's Jacob. Jacob might have a perfect
I,
collection.
I'm not sure I'll put everything into one watch, then you've got nothing to change. I think as you build a collection, it's nice, like Greg's
Or
got
maybe
here.
wait a little bit till you're ready to get. the
It's
next
nice
one.
to have variety, would you not?
I think
say?
so, yeah.
Well, you've built a collection, Greg. So what's your, I mean, not this a strategy, but what's your thoughts on collecting? And you have sold some as well to move on. What makes you decide to sell a watch from your collection?
I think for me, I just want to wear everything that I've got. So if I've got stuff that I don't wear, then I move it on. But I think a lot of people are trying to buy watches and put them away as investments. But I think it's a false economy because you could recycle that money so many times by buying and selling other watches. This is how the watch industry works. So, keeping one watch in a safe somewhere, you've got that money tied up. You could buy a watch, sell a watch and do it over and over and make more than you'll make, more than that watch is going to go up, unless it's a very special piece.
But Greg, you're not really enjoying it. The other thing, I speak many a time with people, there's about enjoying watches as well as collecting. So if you buy and wear and enjoy and trade or get offered nice things, that's another thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rara says, guys, do you think the Rolex Sea Dweller Bimetal is a bit of a sleeper? It's not particularly popular, and we all know what happens to watches like that in the long run.
It's not popular.
Agreed,
I mean,
it's not
a lot of
very
people
popular.
much prefer the subs in the blue or the black. So people do buy that piece, but once it's discontinued, there aren't many around, suddenly it'll become a collectible piece and sought after.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I've noticed, and I've not been in and amongst watches for a long time, but there's one thing I generally feel we do not talk about on this show. I don't see so many of them at BQ. Yacht-Masters. I don't see the blue face.
What, the Yacht-Master 2 or the older one?
You're asking me like I'd know.
Right,
Yacht-Master 2.
I think he means the two, yeah.
Yeah, the 2.
We didn't have one in a while.
No.
We never talk about them.
No.
It's true.
Just not popular?
I think the Yacht-Master loses out to the GMT and the Sub. They're a similar size watch. If we're talking about the same one.
No, that's the Yacht-Master. But I think Gav's referring
So,
to
I know the one, you're the one with the
you're
black
referring
face
to the
and-
Yacht-Master too. He's talking about the one with the big blue bezel.
Yeah.
They do
Right.
in white gold
that's
and yellow gold
So that's
and
I think that's
bimetal.
I think that's a love-hate watch.
Yes. I
Yeah.
mean, I look at it, I think to myself, why do they even make it?
Yeah, I don't like them at all, and I think that is
The dial
no-
is not my favorite.
it's a
I
love-hate. So that's
agree.
probably really why. You know,
And
it's-
what I know, I've worked out over the course of all these shows what a Submariner does. What is the point of the Yacht-Master? What does it do that's quite significant?
The
and special?
Yacht-Master is a skipper. It's a yachting watch.
No.
So
Was the clue in the name?
I couldn't tell you exactly, but the bezel rotates and it's got different settings for timings of certain things.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. Well, I'll Google that tomorrow and I'll get the answers to that. Let's go to our questions from Instagram now, from our followers. Hollyway Mark says, "Girls," we'll put that to both you two,
Me and Sven.
seeing as Kaylee's not here. What brand of watch has the nicest fanboys?
Hilda, I'll let you answer that.
I mean, I guess Rolex is.
Okay, that's a good enough answer. Let's go to question number 2, also for the girls. What's the most annoying, repetitive thing customers say?
Probably, is this gonna go up in price? What's gonna happen next year? And sometimes I'm like, I don't know, but
So it's
I think where they've had it
Predictions,
for 8
maybe.
years and it's never been worn and it comes in, it's battered.
oh,
Yeah.
Spencer, this one's directed at you. Diamond Geezer 62 says, "Did Thorpe get that day date off you?" Lol.
No.
No, I take it that,
No.
that Mr. Thorpe has a new day date, does he? That
No.
someone. Do we know anything about that? I don't know anything about that. Okay. Gautam Bamana says, "Will Yacht-Master 40 Blue Dial 11662B be desirable one day?"
they are quite desirable. I wouldn't say that no one wants them.
Spencer?
We are
I
looking
think
to buy one.
similar to the Milkhouse, again, that is something that once they're discontinued, they will be very sought after.
Okay. Jacob's got a question here. Tying into my other question, do you think the prices of Batmans will stay where they are?
Well, nothing's going down. They're desirable. There aren't enough around. The Batman, the Batgirl, all of those. The Pepsis, the first generation Pepsi that's a bit more pinky. All of these, they're all sought after.
What do you think about that, Greg?
Yeah, got to agree with the expert.
Well, no, but you are an expert. No,
Yeah,
but you are an expert.
I think that they're not going to rise massively, but they're not going to come down. I don't see them suddenly again, unless they get discontinued, they're not suddenly going to leap.
Not really something that's going to happen, though, is it?
They are,
No.
They are hard to find. So there's always going to be a premium on them, but I think they're probably around where they're going to stay.
Okay. Fun enough, the next question I think we've just already done, which is really good. Really good. Yeah, carry on. So the question after that, Andy Paul says, "How quickly can you source a watch if you don't have it in stock? For example, a root beer."
We normally get things within 48 hours. We'll just put out on our channel that we're after something and people come along with it.
And generally speaking, Janilda, you do get quite a lot of inquiries from people saying, "I'm looking for this."
Absolutely,
And
yes.
you give the boss a big crack in the ribs and he...
And says,
We
go,
need to get
we
it,
need to
and
get
we
yeah.
just
What are you currently
find
looking
it.
for? What are you in demand of?
All sports, day dates, the rose, olive, everything. I mean, 2, 3 of a certain watch isn't enough for us.
GMTs, yeah.
And ahead of, we'll let's go back to the show for a second. And just in case you missed the first part of tonight's show, we've announced that the BQ Watches Winter Watch Weekend is going to be up and coming on the second weekend of November at Augusta.
MV Augusta.
In London.
Number
in Sloane
60
Street.
Sloane Avenue.
Yeah. Guys, do check out the link. We've got it up on screen there for you, actually. There's a booking form on the BQ Watches website. Spencer, perhaps tell everybody how they
Sure.
book.
So with this, just if you can put on there when you'd like to attend, don't worry if you have to change. It just gives us some idea of numbers. There's also a link for some local hotels, which are quite reasonable. And just so that you know, there is no cost whatsoever to attend the event. It's totally free of charge. We'll also be laying on food and drinks. We will announce more, but it's literally just been confirmed the end of last week.
Yeah.
So we will update on there. You've got the times all day on Saturday and Sunday.
And also, one of the things that someone came up to me at the watch fair, the London Watch Show, and said, I think you should put it on your website. I couldn't come last time because I wasn't sure if it's child friendly. Absolutely. Bring your kids
Childs,
Yeah, of
even
course.
dogs, whatever you
dogs.
like.
We'll
Bring
have
them all
dog
down.
treats there.
Absolutely.
Children can come.
Yep. We'll get Janilda dressed up as Santa. See how that goes down. Rolly Electrical says, next question. What's your thoughts, it must be on, the Tudor Black Bay P01? We're terrible with model numbers on Tudors.
P01, I'm not that up with that, but that was a watch that Paul Thorpe had that I sold for him, wasn't it? It's around 2,500, 3,000. Yeah, it's
That's
quite a big
nice.
case on that, isn't it? It's quite an unusual.
It's a distinctive watch, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite
I mean, again, Tudors for the money, when we're talking under 5,000, do some great pieces.
Neil Brennan says, thoughts on pics of the discontinued 39mm Explorer value over time? I feel like this is a question that comes up every single week.
I like the 39 over the new 36.
What do you
And
think,
again, Greg, the 39 OPs were really popular.
Yeah, I think that's going to go up. Shout out to Kelvin. Bought one of those this week. He did.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well done, Kelvin.
Yeah, I think that one's got some legs to actually increase quite a bit.
What's the current list of that, or the current grey list?
Can't even remember.
Sure.
Well, let's
Sorry?
ask a watch dealer. If anybody knows a watch dealer who knows the, can someone go onto the BQ website and just check that for us? Okay. And Jacob, I probably got your questions in the wrong order, which is why this one's come up now. How much for a 4-month-old 126610 trade against the 126710 BLNR on the site?
Give me a call tomorrow morning after 9 and I'll see what I can do for you.
Jacob, give us a shout. I mean, you've got some taxes to pay and all that sort of stuff if you're taking it out. Oh, Jacob says, Top Man Spencer, wish I could come over, would be really great. Jacob, I'm sure at some point we will grab you and get you over. Hit the Apex 101, perfect sense for men and a great root beer watch with bracelets. Ken Lucy says, platinum with the blue secondhand, stunning. Yeah, lots of lovely comments tonight. Before we end the show, because we've gone well over what we usually do, because Greg, you're such
my fault, isn't it?
you're such a big hit. You're such a big hit with the Goyles. We're just going to throw in a quick fire quiz at you, which we did last week, and just give us the give us the truth, Greg.
Go for it.
Rolex or Patek?
No time.
For me, at the moment, Rolex.
At the moment means
Aspirationally, Patek. But I'm not quite at the stage
You're
where
not
I'm
there
prepared
yet.
to spend that
So
sort of money on one.
that's what you aspire to
Yeah.
get a
I
nice.
think that's
Any particular model?
at the moment the rose gold Aquanaut, the one that Watch Gringer's other half,
Yeah.
Watch Pappy, has and featured in their video last week.
Right. Amazing.
Absolutely beautiful.
Well, I know the answer to this one. Casio or Seiko?
Yes, Seiko for me. I love
Yep.
Seiko.
Chinese or pizza?
Ooh. Go pizza.
Okay. Wine or beer?
Beer.
Good boy. Rolex, Batman or Batgirl? I think we know the answer to that.
Batgirl.
Batgirl. Patek or Audemars?
Yeah, Patek. I
Yeah.
do love APs, but Patek's the grail, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll come to Grail in a minute. And over Audemars because...
I just think there's something special about Pateks. I do love APs. I love the size of them. But Patek's just, it's like the Ferrari
Right.
of watches. It's just something, it's got that something special about it.
Probably a bit easier to get on your wrist than a Ferrari. Cinema or theatre?
Yeah, I'll go theatre.
Yes.
For the right show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the right show for you? Mary Poppins?
Best one ever.
Yeah.
We Will Rock You.
Yes.
Turned me into a fan of Queen. Hated them.
Did
Went to
you?
watch that show. Loved them. Yeah.
Amazing. I can tell you a bit. I opened the Queen store last week in Carnaby Street. I filmed the opening.
Fantastic.
Yeah, they've in case you get to London, maybe on our watch weekend, there's a fantastic new Queen store in Carnaby Street. Really, really great immersive experience store. Old Spice or Drakkar Noir?
Drakkar Noir. I still wear it from time to time.
You still wear it?
Yep. It's it's called a aromatic fougere. It's a classic.
Is it?
Men's but it's in the same realm as Brut.
So it's like the 1991 Rolex GMT we just saw. Yeah,
exactly.
I love that. Night in or night out?
These days, night in.
That's what happens when you get over 40.
Used to always be night out, but these days. Definitely
We'll
night
get
out.
you out in November. And last one, Hublot or IWC?
I'm not a fan of either, but IWC.
Right.
There's the big pilot is.
We talked about not being a fan of Hublots, and we know there's certain channels that talk quite negatively about them. But Spencer, we had a chat about this the other day, and at a certain level, at a certain
At
price.
a certain level, the right price. I think they're a very interesting watch.
Under 5,000.
I have one here. I picked one out today because everybody's too busy slating these things, okay? So here we have a Hublot. This is a classic fusion. Now, I don't know what the list price of this was. It's not a bad looking little watch. It's a sort of watch I think is okay.
I think it's lovely.
It's under $5,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is.
So even at a price, there must be. Have a look at that, Greg.
Again,
At a
carbon
price-
and
Box and papers. I think the dial is
ceramic,
quite nice.
I actually really like that.
There you go.
It's yours. We might be able to do a good. I might know a man who's selling
I'll
one.
take
Greg.
a bottle of perfume for that.
Where's the 2,500 one?
What's the matter with your Kuros I bought you? You got a bottle.
Yes.
It's
Really
not a
nice.
bad looking watch
I think
actually,
it's
is
really
it?
nice.
So my point to Spencer was it's very trendy to slate Hublot, and like I understand that everyone's jumped on the bandwagon, and it's great fun, and I wouldn't be excited if I was the owner of Hublot, but. At a certain price, these watches become okay, don't they? Surely, if you like the look of them. I've had a Big Bang before. Not that sort of Big Bang. I've had a Hublot Big Bang back in the day. I think 2003 spent, 2004. I had a Hublot Big Bang. I think I paid $2,500 for it at the time, and the pound was 2 to 1. So I mean,
ridiculous.
that's like a
I
12,
think it's a
12
well
grand
good-
watch now.
Again, very simplistic.
Yep.
Just nice detail.
At the end of the day, wear what you like. You know, what you enjoy, not what other people tell you is good or what they like.
Absolutely
It's your
right.
money, you're wearing it. If you like it, buy it. Simple as that.
Now we did plan to do our top 5 under $5,000 today, but I feel like we've kind of we're getting on a little
We've done
bit.
our top aftershaves
I
over
think
$5,000.
I think we might hold off for those for another week because we've got some really good watches here. The top 5 BQ watches for under $5,000, which probably makes a mockery of the fact that we put a title up saying top 5 under 5. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. Spencer, Ken Lucy is saying, did Spencer buy an MV Augusta?
What do you think?
He absolutely did.
Well, anyone who comes to the show, I tell the story. I basically got caught up in Paul Thorpe's trap and have changed the Harley for an MV Augusta, and that's what brought me on to the owner. We're actually going to, Gav, we're hoping to get the video done, aren't we? Maybe next week or
We are,
Yep.
yes.
We're going to do a video of the showroom so everyone can see what there is there. I mean, they call this motorcycle art. I mean, the brand is incredible, and I look at it like the Lamborghini.
James, I'm just airdropping you a picture if you can grab that, please, because I took a picture of Spencer's new bike this morning.
No, that's not mine. That's what.
That's not
That's
yours.
not mine.
You said you bought.
No, I
they've
didn't. I
lent it
bought
to you.
one, but it's not ready yet. So they've lent me
Wow.
the one that you
very
saw
Let's
today,
pop that on the
so we
screen
can
and
just
have a
show
little
them the
look.
brand.
It's really cool looking. It looks like a torpedo. It's very, very smart.
But this
very,
is
very
this isn't the
retro-looking.
piece I bought. I've traded in one of a Harley
Yeah,
for an MV Augusta.
very, very.
You'll have to
nice.
wait and see. But anyone coming down there to the showroom, their stuff is just out of this world.
Yeah, little picture of you in the background there. Greg, I just want to say one absolute pleasure it's been having you on the show. Joking
Pleasure's
apart,
all mine.
we've had such a lot of fun with you today.
Thank you.
It was great to see you for dinner. I loved hearing all the stories about how you set up your business, and also I like as watch people. I think it's great to have you on, and great to have you from the other side of the screen in here.
Brilliant. Thanks for having me. I've really enjoyed it. It's been great.
Who are you nominating next? Who would you like to nominate to come on and join us?
You've got to get Ian Nicholson on here.
Yeah.
You've got
Okay.
to get Kelvin on here.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
bit of a journey. And you've got to get Jacob Kendall to fly over.
Well,
because
100%.
Absolutely.
I was thinking actually, Jacob Kendall's getting married at some point soon in the States, and he's going on honeymoon in Venice. And I'm thinking, cheap flight to Venice, couple of us, we'll just pile out there with a couple of cameras and a laptop, and we'll do a show from his honeymoon.
And we'll see Ushin as well.
Yeah, and we'll see exactly. We'll go and sit in a moonlight table in Venice. How romantic! We'll take all our perfumes with us.
He'll love
We'll
us
grab
there on
Jacob
his
and missus
honeymoon.
on his honeymoon. Jacob, if you're up for that, we're all coming. Guys, it's been fantastic. I've really enjoyed tonight. I don't know who we're going to give the honour to for the outro. You balls it up every week, Spencer. Janilda, you do. I think it really should go to
Go on
Greg.
then, we'll let Greg.
Greg, do
Fine.
you remember the strap line?
I'll try.
All right, your camera's over there. Guys, thanks for joining us. Outro to Greg. Oh, forgot. Quickly. Don't forget, if you like the show, Greg, you can do all that bit. Go on.
If you like.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell. And if you haven't bought from us yet, it's just a matter of time.
That's very good.
No.
You know how difficult
If you
it is. Go
haven't
on.
dealt with us yet, it's only a matter of time. See you next week, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.